Hello and welcome back to my perspective tutorial. Today we will cover 2-point perspective. This is part 2 of a 3-part series, so if you haven't seen the first point perspective video, you should watch it now. Once again, I will cover the basics and useful techniques that I use in my illustration work. I try to keep this video short and to the point because I find most art tutorials are way too long. What is 2-point perspective? Basically, in addition to the central vanishing point, you have additional 2 points. It represents an object that is rotated and is not perpendicular to the viewer. You can have an unlimited amount of these in a picture within practical means, of course, because sometimes you're better off estimating, but more on that later. Unlike 1-point perspective, the only thing that is not diminishing is the vertical space. This can be used to our advantage, because you can still calculate the height of things if they are at the same distance. Let's return to the cone of vision. I've mentioned in the previous video that the cone of vision can be used to check if your vanishing points are set up correctly. Well, in 2-point perspective this becomes really useful. To do this, simply choose one vanishing point. It can be anywhere as long as it's not the same spot as the central vanishing point. From your central vanishing point you should get your station point. You can go back and watch the first video if you don't know how to set it up. Make sure that your cone of vision is large enough so that you avoid distortions. The further the station point, the better. From your first point, draw a line to the station point and then draw from the station point to create a 90-degree angle. The easiest way is just to use the selection tool to make a rectangle and place it so it lines up. Move the line until it hits the horizon. That is your second vanishing point. The great thing about this is that this can be done infinitely as long as your station point remains the same, which it should. Another problem to solve is how to rotate an object in 2-point perspective. It is fairly simple. You just raise or lower each vanishing point higher or lower, depending how you want to rotate the object. The horizon will rotate with the vanishing points, so you can keep track of your vertical lines. The same principle applies when you want to draw an incline or decline. Just raise or lower the vanishing point and you will get a sloped surface. This is helpful when you want to draw stuff like stairs. Do note that with stairs it is a good idea to set up a few reference lines because it is really easy to mess up the scale of the stairs. A few thoughts about ellipses. They can be tricky to draw, but this can be mitigated with some techniques and tools. The first one is to draw a square, find the center and extend all the lines from the center so you can get a cross shape. Then draw an additional line near the edge and extend it everywhere until you get a smaller square. Now you just need to connect the dots. Usually to speed things up I use Kurita's concentric ellipse tool. In order to place the ellipse correctly, you must know that the minor axis is the main thing that will guide the position. Think of it like a pin that you're sticking to a board. The minor axis is the sharp end. Now for some more practical techniques that you can apply to your work. In order to get a surface with equal measurements, you draw one square, extend the line from 2 corners, extend this line until it intersects the horizon. That is your vanishing point for this measurement. So now it's just a matter of extending and connecting everything. This works in 1-point perspective as well. Here is another way in which you can multiply spaces. Take a square, extend the line from one corner to another, and go up or down until it hits the extended vertical line from the vanishing point. Now you can multiply it without drawing X's all the time. Another neat way to subdivide spaces is to draw a horizontal measuring line from one corner of the rectangle, then divide the line into equal segments, then draw a line from the end of the measuring line to the other corner of the rectangle. Extend it until it intersects the horizon. This will be your vanishing point for this measurement. If you need to mirror a more complex shape, just find the center of the plane and extend a few reference lines. After that, just connect all the points which intersect those lines. As you can see, this can be quite involved, so usually you're better off estimating it. But as always, to estimate you need to know the process by which you can do that estimation. With all this information, it can seem a bit overwhelming at times to keep all the vanishing points in mind. In practice, I noticed that at most you need 2 sets of vanishing points. After that, you can just estimate it by ghosting a line towards the station point and roughly getting a 90-degree angle. Usually you will see if it's wrong or not. Another helpful strategy is to color code all your vanishing points, so for one set I will use complementary colors like blue and red, for another purple and green, etc. That way you don't get confused. How to practice. As always, I encourage you to practice either by drawing geometric shapes with all the aforementioned techniques or applying it to your personal work directly. Do try to freehand it and then check it afterwards, that way you will train your eye to see mistakes. And that's all the basics of 2-point perspective. Thank you for watching this video, I really appreciate it. You can like and subscribe to this channel, and if you want to support me on Patreon, the link is in the description. If you have any questions regarding this lesson, feel free to post a comment. I will try to answer them directly or address them in the next video, which will be on 3-point perspective.